Okay, so my PhD project is about optimizing distributed stream processing systems, which is a lot of buzzwords, but essentially it's about taking systems like Twitter's way it counts hashtags. So the way Twitter has to count hashtags is that it actually has to look at every tweet that's sent, which is about 500 million a day. And obviously you can't really do that on one big machine. You need lots of little machines to do those counting tasks, and they have to be able to talk to each other, so they have to work in quite a complicated way to share out the jobs. And obviously people send tweets at different levels in a day, so you might get the demand going up and you might get demand going down. At the minute these systems can scale out, so you can make them bigger and make them smaller to cope with demand, but again this system is not very intuitive. It's like it relies on a human being to say, I want this many copies of this thing or this many copies of this thing to cope with the demand. So what we'd like to do, what the research project is about designing a system that can look at how much demand is coming in, can figure out how long it will take the system to process that demand, and if that's going to be shorter than we want, to scale up the decision. So it surprised me when I first started doing this that the system doesn't do that already. It doesn't. It needs humans to tell it what to do. And so I started working on this project from using aspects of queuing theory and statistical inference to do these things. This is really an area that the industry wants, and at a conference recently I met a lead developer from Twitter who gave a whole talk about how this is a problem for them because they have to, every time they deploy one of these systems, it takes them a week to figure out how many machines they need and how many copies of each program they want. So I was very glad to hear that this is a problem that needs solving, and I'm hoping to be able to solve it in a useful way for industry. But also that this is another element of kind of adding a slightly more mathematical statistical approach to a back-end computer science problem, and that I think the CDT is good for. Yeah, so the impact I hope my project will have is that it will make Twitter engineers and people who run these systems save a week of their time.